Hi, my name is Love Aludo, founder of the Society for Humanity Impact and Policies. Currently, I'm on a research on hormonal health for women, and I also have a project, the Fibroids Project, which is a very broad project, and it's all under hormonal health. And this series is on the burden of contraception and the dangers to women's health. In this episode, I'm going to share a personal story. It's personal because it's a family story that we don't like to talk about, but there are so many lessons in the story. For the purpose of our discussion here, I'm going to cut out all of the other topics, all of the other aspects, and I'm only going to focus on reproductive health so that you understand what we're talking about when we say the burden of contraception. Later on, we're also going to talk about the angle from the national perspective and the economy and education and all of that. But for now, I want you to focus on hormonal health in the story and contraceptive, the burden of contraception, not actually contraceptive usage, because that's also a thing that I think did not apply here. So we're going to just listen, because it's not something that I enjoy wanting to tell you. So we had a very amazing person in our lives, and she was in love with this person, a man, and they did not get married, and that's why I said I'm not going to talk about that part. Okay, so the first child they had was given birth to via a C-section. So she was operated on for the first child to come out. And from what I heard at the time, because I still was unaware of all of this, that was about 2006-07, I heard that if you have to give birth to your child through the abdominal opening or the stomach cut, then you have to wait for a certain number of years so that you can heal. Before I knew what was going on, she was pregnant again. And she gave birth to the second child, also via C-section. This is year 1, year 2. The third year, she was pregnant again and gave birth to another child. I was having a discussion with my mom 2 days ago if it was 4 kids or 5 kids, 4 kids or 5 kids. But just so you know, when my mom said 5, I said 4. No. So every time I go to school and come back, there's a new baby. You start to lose count. And being the kind of funny person that I am sometimes, I started to think, man, you guys should make my life complicated. I want to know how many nieces and nephews I have. Like, don't confuse me. What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? And how much do I have to spend every time I have to come visit you guys? I want to know how many you are. And I just play like that. I was in France when I heard that she had passed on in the labor room. And she was so full of life. She was so funny. When we were kids, she used to make our hair. Like, she used to make our hair braids, just to mat it down, or really long braids, or just weave-ons and stuff. She was super, like, always there for us. She used to even give us her clothes that were in our size, but you had to wait till it was your size. And then when we started to go to school, and she had to drop out of school because of the first kid, that's why I said I wasn't going to go into all of that part. She would always look at me coming back from school, the way I would dress, the way I would be studying, the way I would tell her stories about my class, and she would be like, man, she wants to go back to school. We would look at weddings in the movies, and she would talk about her wedding, how she wants her wedding to be, but she just kept having those kids. Kids are great. Kids are good. Children are a blessing from God. But imagine, I feel like in her case, if she had had that conversation of, look, let's share the burden of this contraception with this man, things would have gone really south. but it would have been good for her, because then she would probably have had to go back to school. But I need to even let you guys know that while she was having all those kids and staying in this man's house, who wasn't actually really even a real man economically, financially, not that he was poor or broke, but that he was poor and broke and not making any effort, and till today he still doesn't even care if he has those kids. And I'm like, is that what she died for? That's why I said I was going to only focus on one part of this story. Yeah, so one time she was traveling to see her mom, to see her parents after the mom died. The family told her she wasn't going to go with the kids, that she had to stay. Okay, first when her mom was sick before she died, she should stay. She couldn't go with the kids. You want to run away with our son? You know, that kind of thing. Even without marriage rights, she had already lost her rights to her kids. So they didn't let her go see her mom when she was sick. Next thing they heard is she was dead. The mom was dead. And because this is Africa, for this particular girl, the man still had to pay the bride price after she died. And it wasn't even the full fee. They had to negotiate. And I was like, why are you negotiating? She's dead. Just pay whatever the family asks you to pay. You can't bring her back to life. Sorry, this story gets me emotional all the time. Let's focus on what we're talking about. Yeah, so we should always talk about it. I know you don't want to lose this man, and you're so in love, or you feel like you're going to be alone if you try to talk about abstinence or condoms and stuff. Maybe someone might even actually say, oh, I'm tired of condoms. Then you have to keep taking those pills. Maybe even if she took the pills, at least she would have been safer. She would still be alive. Like I said, pills in moderation, shots in moderation, and moderation counts. So what we're talking about is the burden of contraception. Why do you have to bear it alone? Why do you have to bear it alone? I've seen girls wanting to go visit their boyfriends, and they go first to the pharmacy or check if they still have their pills. Why do you have to bear it alone? That is what we're talking about here. And we're also going to talk about how we can all come together and discuss solutions, if there is a way, because these apart from the very dangerous shots, these meds, they can actually lead to, we'll talk about this in another voice note podcast or video in case you're watching or listening, but they can actually, they really hurt you. Many women have had irregular bleeding, tender breasts, hot flashes, menopausal signs at this age, and then bone issues. You don't know where it's coming from. Lack of concentration, you don't know where it's coming from. Cancer, fibroids. So if you're paying attention to this video and you're probably suffering from maybe fibroids, endo, cysts, PCOS, don't think, oh, but I haven't had any contraceptives, then why am I suffering this? Why am I suffering endo? Why am I suffering all of these? I want you to know that we're discussing the burden of contraception, but I'm not telling you that contraceptives are the only reasons why you're having hormonal health issues. This is just a segment, like I said before. We're going to talk about so many things under hormonal health. Contraceptives is just one of them. Okay, so this is not an attack on those who use contraceptives. This is not an attack on those who have hormonal issues. This is information, this is a lesson, and this is me trying to help you, because from my experience with contraceptives, I started to wonder if one shot did this to me and I'm not even trying to not have a kid, because I really want to have kids, and I'm not even like looking for a way to not have kids, but they gave it to me for a different purpose. If one shot can do this to a human being's body, I wonder what so many other women are going through, and quietly so, and alone, and some of them ignorantly. They don't even know why they're passing through what they're passing through. They don't know what's going on in their bodies. They don't know what's happening. They don't have the solutions. And then in future, when they become sick or have to suffer one or more illnesses, they don't understand that they're having hormonal issues, and they start to treat that problem as a problem when it's just a symptom, and there are real underlying reasons for whatever you're going through. So I went out of battery on my camera, so I had to use my phone. And I hope you enjoyed this session. I remain Love Aludo, founder of the Society for Humanity, Impact and Policies. And remember that the entire series is on hormonal health, the entire project, the entire research. And I'm working really hard to make sure that this brings us to a point in science, in history, in women's reproductive health, where women are more conscious of what they're putting in their bodies, where women understand that infertility has causes. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk again in another video or podcast, just in case you're watching or listening. Bye.